learning how to become unbothered and detached will change your life. Detachment means owning your life and not letting anything, anyone, any emotions, any circumstances, anything own you. I feel like the term unbothered is a bit of a buzzword lately, but it's a good one. And what's really amazing is that learning how to detach in this way will really allow you to tap into your feminine energy, which is what us ladies are here on this earth to do. Because detachment and feminine energy, they kind of go hand in hand. And I'm going to talk about how today. Hi and welcome. I'm Amanda, a busy full-time working mom, and I help women just like you tap into your feminine energy despite all the masculine demands in your life. Below, you'll find a link to sign up for my weekly newsletter where I talk about all things feminine energy, alignment, and really how to just become the newest version of you possible and step into your power. So we're going to dive in, but before we can talk about how to detach, how to become detached, we need to first understand exactly what it is. So what exactly does it mean to detach? What is detachment? What does it mean to be unbothered? Well, to fully understand it, let's dive into the 6 laws of detachment. The first is to allow others to be exactly who they are. It is not up to you to try to fix people, and it is not where you should be spending your energy. It is not a service to you when you try to fix people or change them. Be 100% authentic, completely you, as I love to say, the youest version of you. Detach from other people's opinions because they don't matter to you. You've probably heard the saying before, the opinion of others is not your business, and it really, really isn't. And if you're properly detached, you don't even think about what other people's opinions are of you because you don't care. But more than that, you don't not just care, but it doesn't shake you. It doesn't affect how you feel about yourself. You know how you feel about yourself, and how anyone else feels about you is not your business. So be authentic, be your true self, your youest version of you, and live your life in that way and only in that way. Don't force situations, whether that be a romantic situation of a guy who's not calling you back. Okay, goodbye, so long and farewell. A job that didn't work out. Okay, I'll find something better. The point is that you cannot force something, because if you're forcing something, that means it's not for you. And if it's not for you, why are you trying to hold on to it? Embrace uncertainty. And I'll admit, this one is really, really hard for me personally. But you need to understand that outcomes can't be controlled. And for as much resistance as you might feel when I say this, but that really is okay. It's okay that you can't control everything. It's okay that even really big, important things, you don't know how they're going to turn out. The next law is that everything happens for a reason, and even painful events can be beneficial and work in your favor. And I know that can be hard to hear when you're in the middle of it, but that's why it's important to adopt this essence of detachment, so that way you don't have to try to convince yourself of that in the moment. It's just who you are. It's how you move through life. And the last law is to just simply embrace life's ups and downs. And this is key. You must learn from those ups and downs without taking everything so personally. And that can be hard to do and hard to learn, but that's why this is, I'm going to call it a practice of detachment, because that's what it is. Because a lot of the attached feelings and the feelings of attachment that we have, they are so deep rooted in us from when we were babies, you know? So it can be hard to let go of those things and to do a 180 and to become detached. But it's a process well worth working through and getting on the other side of. And let me be really clear. This is not about becoming cold and emotionless and not letting yourself feel anything or not having anything faze you. It's not about that. What it's about is detaching your sense of self from those negative situations or emotions. It doesn't mean that you don't feel anything, but it means that what you don't feel is that this guy doesn't talk to me, he doesn't like me, I want him to like me, why doesn't he like me? I must not be very good. That's what detachment isn't. I got a little twisted up there. But it's not about not feeling sad that the man you want to marry doesn't want to marry you either. It's not about not feeling those emotions, but it's about not going to the place of, there must be something wrong with me, I have to change myself to make him like me. It's about detaching from those feelings. It's about detaching your sense of self from those situations. Detachment allows you to develop a strong sense of self, a stable foundation within yourself, independent of anyone else or any situation. It's about not digging yourself into a hole when something bad happens to you or when something doesn't go according to your plan. It's about not letting that shake you, but rather even going further and adopting the mindset of, this didn't work out because there must be something better for me. I got outbid on this offer on my dream house because I must belong in a better neighborhood for me. I got laid off from my job because I'm supposed to do something bigger with my life than this job that I was just so comfortable in. Or the classic, this guy doesn't want me, sucks for him because my Prince Charming must be on the way. Detachment empowers you to be the own source of your happiness and security. And don't get me wrong, there are people in your life that can help support that and help build you up, and people will see value in you. But the point is that for those who don't, it doesn't shake you and it doesn't make you devalue yourself. I think that emotional intelligence and detachment really go hand in hand. Like I said, detachment doesn't make you become completely emotionless, but rather it allows you to feel your emotions, but not always react on them. They don't define you or dictate what you do. You just have to detach from them to the degree in which they are not serving you. And that's not being cold, it just means that you have more control over yourself and your reactions than you maybe think that you do. And listen, I get it. My dog recently died and it shook me and I cried for days and days and days, and I lost it in the yard when I went to go harvest my raspberries because that's where he used to play. I felt so much sadness and I did react to that sadness. Of course, I'm a human. This video isn't about detaching from humanity in order to become a robot. Not at all. Because hard and sad things happen and I'm not telling you not to feel them. But I'm saying that all that might be true and all those feelings might be there, but also you are in charge of the choices that you make. You're in charge of whether you crawl into bed for the rest of the day or whether you go out and grab your favorite coffee, take a walk along the river, maybe get a manicure to cheer yourself up. The point that I'm trying to make is that you are in control of your actions. When you learn how to become detached, then you don't detach from your emotions. You still get the emotions. You still feel the emotions, as you should. I want you to have a lively human experience. But you can detach from the hold that those emotions have on you and take control of your actions. Because suffering doesn't give you power. And that detachment frees you up to live life fully and receive all the blessings that life has to offer you. Whereas attachment is holding on to a specific person or circumstance or situation or outcome and believing that it must stay the same in order for us to be happy. Put another way, it takes the control of your own happiness away from you, which is a very dangerous way to live your life because the need for things to stay constant and the same leads to suffering when change inevitably happens because that's how life works. And when you learn how to become detached, your value doesn't depend on anyone else. Because when you realize and truly believe and feel that the value that you have for yourself is all that you need to be happy and to feel whole, your life changes. And I'm not just talking to the young girls dating losers in college. Even those of us who are married to good, wonderful, dedicated men who think the world of us, this still applies. Because the truth is, your wonderful husband could die tomorrow. And that is a devastating thing to think about, but it's true. So who are you going to be when the unimaginable happens? If the unimaginable happens. You need to value yourself and be detached from anyone else. That doesn't mean that you don't care about anyone else. It means that your intrinsic value and happiness is not 100% contingent on anyone else. Because anything, any life, any person, any circumstance could be taken away from us at any time. The same could be said for your dream job. You might have your absolute dream job and you couldn't imagine doing anything else. You would think, I would be nothing without my job. If that's the case, Anything could happen to your job. You could lose it in an instant. You need to be whole within yourself regardless of anything external. You also need to learn how to detach from people and how they act or how they are. You need to understand that all you can do is control yourself, and it's not your business to try to control anyone else, even those who you love and who you care about. Trying to change other people will only probably piss them off and drive you crazy. I don't want those things for you. And here's a pro tip about men. I'm no dating expert, but I know that men need the freedom to be themselves. And sometimes that means that they're going to do things that annoy us or piss us off. And I'm not talking about putting up with men who treat you poorly. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just giving the man you love, the person who you chose to spend your life with, the freedom to be himself. Because who are you, even as his wife, to tell him who he should be? You chose him. You should respect him. And that means accepting him for exactly who he is. Of course, there's nuances. I don't want to get into all the nitty gritty of, yeah, but he does this to me and I don't. You know, I think you know what I'm talking about. It's about not changing a person for who they are. Of course, there may be certain behaviors that need some correcting. Of course. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about a larger scope. So when you learn to detach from your partner in that way and the need to control them, it will make you feel a lot more free, and it will certainly make them feel a lot more free. And when this applies to everyone, when we're all our own most authentic selves and we feel accepted by those who we've chosen to spend our life with, I mean, there's no greater happiness than that. And maybe you're hearing this and you're thinking something along the lines of, but I do need my husband and I want him to need me, and we spend the life together. We're dedicated to each other. We need each other. That's not love. That's dependency. Dependency isn't love. What is love is the choice to be with someone. I love myself so much. I am so whole for myself, by myself, as I am. And yet I choose to spend my life with you. I choose to wake up every morning so glad to be with you. That is a much more beautiful and powerful love than that of dependency. It's the difference between I'm here because I need to be and I need you, and even though I am whole and wonderful as I am, as myself, and I choose to be here with you every single day because that's how much you add to my life. Very different situations. Not to mention, you will just become so much more desirable when you adopt that mindset. Because I think for all of us humans, it feels a lot better to be chosen than it does to be needed. True connection allows for a healthy and thriving relationship where each party feels perfectly valued for exactly who they are and exactly as how they show up. And that can only happen if you're truly detached. Okay, moving on. Don't ruminate. If something didn't go your way, okay, bummer, move on. I look forward to the next bigger and better thing that's coming my way. You need to learn to let go of trying to control outcomes that you really have no control over, and rather embrace the flow of life. And I know I was not always this person. I'm sharing this post shift. I used to be super anal, super controlling. Things need to go my way. I need to control everything. I need to plan everything. And if anything goes awry, I'm gonna lose my shit. Like, that used to be me. I know what that feels like. And so if you're sitting here thinking, you sound like a lunatic, come back down to earth, I know where you are. I know where you're coming from. But I want to ask, how much peace do you feel? Does that feel good? Is that a way that feels peaceful in your soul when you move through life like that? If it does, then who am I to talk to you about anything else? But if it doesn't, maybe you consider learning how to detach. Because when you can learn to let go, it restores your energy. It restores your lease on life. It enables you to become the best version of yourself because you learn to embrace change. And if you're a control freak, it frees up mental and emotional space for self-care and other priorities. and really being able to put yourself first. It's such a freeing way to live when you can let go of a specific path or a specific outcome, but rather can learn to live and appreciate life for exactly what it is and take things as they come, live and let live. And tying this into feminine energy, because that's such a passion of mine, and almost everything I talk about on this channel all goes back to feminine energy one way or another. The feminine energy is all about being. It's not about doing. When you go through the ebbs and flows of life and you just accept things for what they are, you are being. You are in your feminine energy. When you're controlling, when you're holding on to things, when you're forcing outcomes, that's doing. That's very masculine energy. In order to be in your feminine energy, you need to learn how to detach, because you cannot be attached and be in flow. It doesn't work. It does not work. You need to instead approach life with openness. And when women can tap into this feminine energy, the energy of being detached and welcoming whatever may come, it is then that they become magnetic and attract abundance in all aspects of life. Whereas a woman who's in her masculine energy, who's trying to force things and attaches to things like control, by thinking that she can force her way into things, she usually pushes things that she wants away because she's forcing it, and that doesn't align with the energy. Self-possession and calm confidence is attractive to, yes, the opposite sex, but it's attractive to everyone and everything. It's attractive to abundance. It's attractive to other women. It's attractive to everything in life. Everything that you want becomes easier when you are open and you detach and you just allow whatever may be to come. Whereas if you're trying to control and you're holding on to outcomes and people and things with an ironclad grip, that's not magnetic. You're forcing things away. If you want to learn more about feminine energy, check out this video because I go much deeper into it here. I'm going to summarize this in one sentence, and that is, in order to attract everything you want in life, you need to detach it. And as a recovering control freak, that can be really, really hard to hear and accept and understand. But the more that you practice the law of detachment, the easier it will become. And you will see that this is right and it's not just woo-woo nonsense. Please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and sign up for my newsletter below. It's totally free and I think it's really helpful. I think it's wonderful. I work really hard on it because I'm committed to providing value. I'll see you next time.